Is there such a thing as too much kindness? A rather curious question, isn't it? Usually, when we think about kindness, it's in the context of its scarcity. We yearn for more kindness in our world, more compassion, empathy, and understanding. Kindness is the glue that binds society together, the salve that heals our collective wounds. It's the currency of human connection, the language we all understand, and the virtue we all hold dear. But like any currency, its value is not absolute. It fluctuates, it can be misused, and even become a liability. Now imagine a world where kindness is in abundance. It might seem like a utopian dream, doesn't it? But let's delve a little deeper. What if this kindness is not balanced? What if it's too much? Can there be too much of a good thing? Kindness, when taken to the extreme, becomes a double-edged sword. On one side, it fosters unity, understanding, and a sense of belonging. On the other, it can lead to exhaustion, lack of authenticity, and even exploitation. It can become a trap, a burden that weighs heavy on the shoulders of those who bear it. This is not to say that kindness is a bad thing, far from it. Kindness is one of the most beautiful traits one can possess. It's the foundation of our humanity, the cornerstone of our society. But just like anything else in life, it requires balance. Without balance, kindness can turn into self-sacrifice, people-pleasing, and even self-neglect. In the following segments, we will explore the various aspects of excessive kindness. We will discuss how overcommitting can lead to exhaustion, how trying to make everyone happy can drain us emotionally, and how thinking we can change people can lead to disappointment. We will also delve into the importance of setting boundaries, the value of conflict, the consequences of overextending ourselves, and the pitfalls of seeking validation. But what happens when the scales tip too far and kindness begins to become a burden rather than a blessing? Let's find out together in the upcoming segments. Firstly, let's delve into the danger of overcommitment. The act of constantly saying yes out of kindness can feel like a noble pursuit, but it's a double-edged sword. By taking on more than you can handle, you risk spreading yourself too thin. Imagine a juggler adding more and more balls to their act until finally they can't keep up, and everything comes crashing down. That's what happens when you overcommit. You're the juggler and the balls are your commitments. There are countless instances of people experiencing burnout due to overcommitment. They fill their plates with so many tasks, so many responsibilities, fueled by the desire to please others, to be kind, that they end up neglecting their own needs. They're left feeling drained, exhausted, and far from their best. Overcommitment, driven by excessive kindness, can lead to a loss of balance in life. Remember, it's essential to respect your limits and prioritize your well-being. Another pitfall of excessive kindness is the tendency to become a people pleaser. This is a behavioral pattern where one constantly seeks to make others happy, often at the cost of their own needs and desires. It's characterized by a relentless need for approval, a fear of rejection, and a propensity to agree with others, even when it contradicts personal beliefs. Consider this. You say yes when you want to say no. You agree to plans that don't interest you, or you change your views to match those around you. Sounds familiar? This is people-pleasing in action. The cost of such behavior is high. It can lead to a lack of authenticity as you suppress your true self to accommodate others. Furthermore, it's emotionally draining, as it requires constant effort to manage others' perceptions and expectations. Remember, it's impossible to please everyone all the time. In the pursuit of making everyone around us happy, we risk losing ourselves. A common misconception among overly kind individuals is the belief that they can change others. This notion, however comforting, is an exercise in futility. Each individual is on a unique journey, navigating life with their own compass, driven by their personal experiences, values, and perceptions. Attempting to steer someone else's course is not only impractical, but it can also lead to frustration and disappointment. Imagine trying to mold clay that has already been fired. It has taken its shape, hardened, and become resistant to change. Similarly, people's personalities, behaviors, and beliefs are deeply ingrained and not easily altered. This is not to say that people can't change, but the catalyst for change must come from within them, not imposed from the outside. Trying to control others' choices can be a draining endeavor, often leading to resentment on both sides. Kindness does not give us the power to change people. It only gives us the ability to support them. Being kind should not equate to being used. This is a crucial principle often overlooked in our quest to extend kindness. Setting boundaries is not about building walls, but about defining your personal limits. It's about understanding your worth and ensuring that you are not taken for granted. Imagine a scenario where you continually lend money to a friend who never pays you back. Instead of addressing the issue, you keep giving. hoping this will maintain the friendship. Soon, you find yourself financially strained and feeling exploited. This is an instance where a lack of boundaries has led to exploitation. Your kindness should not be a door left ajar for others to exploit. It's essential to establish clear lines of what is acceptable and what is not. This is not selfishness. Rather, it's about self-preservation, about maintaining a balance between your generosity and your well-being. Setting boundaries is a form of self-care and a critical aspect of balanced kindness. Avoiding conflicts at all costs might seem like an act of kindness, but it can lead to deeper issues. Indeed, conflict is not inherently negative. It can serve as a catalyst for personal growth and relationship building. When we engage in conflicts, we are often challenged to view situations from different perspectives, fostering empathy and understanding. Consider this. By constantly avoiding disagreements, we may inadvertently allow unresolved issues to fester, leading to resentment and strained relationships. Conflict avoidance may seem like a short-term solution, but in the long run, it can create a breeding ground for deeper, more complex problems. As counterintuitive as it may sound, it's through these disagreements that we can truly get to know and understand each other better. We learn to negotiate, to compromise, and most importantly, to respect each other's differences. So let's not shy away from conflicts. Instead, let's manage them effectively. Conflicts, when managed well, can strengthen relationships and foster growth. Kindness should not come at the cost of your own resources. There's a delicate balance between generosity and self-preservation. When we consistently overextend ourselves, whether it be our time or our financial resources, we risk depleting our own reserves. Imagine pouring your energy into others like pouring water from a jug. If you pour without replenishing, you'll soon find the jug empty. Overextending can lead to exhaustion, financial instability, and even resentment towards those we're trying to help. It can also create an unhealthy dynamic where people come to expect, rather than appreciate, your kindness. Consider, for instance, a friend who constantly asks for financial help, but never seems to improve their situation. Or perhaps you're the colleague who always takes on extra work, leaving little time for personal pursuits. In both scenarios, the cost of kindness becomes detrimental. It's important to remember that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Lastly, the need for others' approval can compromise the authenticity of kindness. This pitfall is often overlooked, yet it can be profoundly damaging. When we seek validation, our acts of kindness can become tainted with insincerity. Instead of stemming from genuine empathy and altruism, these acts transform into tools for personal validation. Let's take an example. Consider a person who constantly gives gifts, not out of genuine affection, but in hopes of receiving praise or approval. This behavior not only undermines the sincerity of the gesture, but it also puts undue stress on the giver, who may feel compelled to keep up appearances despite personal discomfort or financial strain. Furthermore, this insincere kindness can negatively impact personal self-esteem. By basing one's worth on external validation, one's self-view becomes dependent on others' perceptions. This can lead to a shaky self-image and constant feelings of insecurity. True kindness comes from the heart, not from the need for approval. So, can there be too much kindness? Absolutely. While kindness is a commendable virtue, it must be balanced. Overcommitting can lead to exhaustion, while people-pleasing can drain one's authenticity. Changing others is futile, as each individual is on their unique journey. Setting boundaries, embracing conflict, and not overextending yourself are all crucial. Seeking validation should never compromise the genuineness of your kindness. Remember, true kindness is about balance. It's about being kind to others, but also being kind to yourself.